which leads us on to our first title fight of the night between Dominick Reyes and Jan Blachowicz. An explosive matchup on paper. Zach, who have you got?
I'm really excited. It's fun. It's fun to see finally move on from the John Jones era at that division. You know, obviously he reigned supreme for so long, but you know, I will say that I think the cream of the crop of that division is the two guys that took John his last two fights with Thiago Santos and Dominick Reyes. I think those are the two guys that need to eventually fight to see who the king of that division is. And with Jan Blachowicz's last loss being to Thiago Santos, I think he will lose to Dominick Reyes and kind of become the gatekeeper of that division. And I would have Dominick Reyes via knockout in the second round.
So we got ourselves a title fight here. I am probably going to be possibly alone on this, but I am taking Blachowicz to win this fight outright. I think he's going to get it done by submission in one of the championship rounds. I'm saying round 4 submission is what I'm going to say. Yeah. I
forgot that it was 4 or 5 rounds. You know, championship fight.
Yeah, we got it. It's a 5-round fight, and I think no matter who wins, it's getting done by decision or in round 4 or 5. There's no way that either of these guys, I think, is gonna lose a fight of this caliber at this point in their career in like the first round. That's just not going to happen. This is going to be an excellent matchup. They're both big. They're both strong. I think size advantage goes to Reyes, but then just raw strength advantage is going to go the other way. I really like Jan's whenever he's on the ground. I really like what he's doing. He's so fast to try to take advantage of a submission opportunity. And if I cannot upsell enough how highly I think of Dominick Reyes, but I think that Jan has a more varied skill set, and that in this long fight, this championship fight, that's going to come more and more into play as we get into the later rounds, which is why I'm taking the round 4 submission. I think he's going to take a lot of damage trying to get there. I think they're both going to take a lot of damage trying to get there. They're both extremely powerful strikers. I think that the technical striking advantage definitely goes to Reyes. I think he's going to get in there more. His striking percentage is going to be higher on what he's landing and what he's hitting as far as significant strikes and power shots. But I think once they really get down into the gas tank, I mean, they're big dudes. There's a limit to how good of a shape you can be in if you're 205 pounds. I mean, not how good of shape you can be in, but I mean, how long you can run for. You know, there's a reason marathoners look the way they do. So I think once they get down onto it, they're sweating, they're bleeding, they're hurt, they're on the mat, they're going into it because they're both championship caliber. I think Jan's going to manage to sneak a submission in somewhere, and that we're all going to be standing up above our couches screaming because the fight just ended.
I love it, bro. I love that take. I disagree with it, but I like it. I'll sprinkle some Jan sub props in there. You know, who knows? But Jan is a good fighter. 7 TKO wins, 9 sub wins, 10 decision wins. So he can win in a variety of ways. Definitely has the more maybe well-rounded game, you might say, than Dominick Reyes. You know, but Dominick Reyes, like you said, maybe the more crisp striker, maybe the more polished striking. He definitely likes to angle off. And use those angles to his advantage. He's got great footwork. I think that that can't be undersold, to be honest. And he went the distance with the GOAT. I mean, I know people don't like to use MMA math, but I mean that's got to count for something, right? Like a lot of people thought he might have won that fight. His cardio is up to par, as you've seen. He go the full 5 rounds. He did slow down in the 4th and 5th rounds, but I mean, I just him showing that against John Jones, I think that's a positive thing. 7 TKO wins himself for Reyes, 2 submission wins, 3 decision wins, and then obviously that decision loss. Man, I'm definitely gonna have to say Reyes via TKO. I just think he's at some point he's gonna clip him. He's gonna angle off and hit him with a vicious left, and I think that's how he's gonna get it done in the round. I'm gonna go 3rd round. I'm gonna go 3rd round TKO victory for the Dominator, Dominick Reyes. On to you, Damage.
You know what? This is another one of those fights where initially I looked at and I was all over Dominick Reyes. I thought, I think he's just gonna But the more I look at this, Jan's no joke. He's beat everybody. He's beat Corey Anderson, Renato Suaza, Luke Rockhold. Jared Cannonier. The guy's in there for a reason, and I think I honestly think the line's a little skewed. I think it should be a little bit closer. You got Reyes is almost a 3-1 favorite.
Yeah,
I don't know if I agree with that and this big of a fight on a co-main event.
Yeah,
I'm kind of leaning more towards Burner's, his breakdown and his prediction. If I'm laying money on it, I think Blachowicz. I think Jan's my guy on this one. I'm going to go with Jan with. I'm going to say he wins a decision. I think it's going to go. I think it's going to go to decision.
Well,
I would not be surprised.
It's going to be hard to stop.
I would not be surprised if, like Burner was saying, submission. I wouldn't be surprised if Blachowicz gets that submission.
Jan be going for those standing submissions. You know what I'm saying?
You
don't even need to get it to the ground in some cases.
He took some years off Luke Rockhold's life too with that KO.
That over 2.5's looking mighty nice to me. Yes. If I had to bet on this fight, I'm taking the over 2.5.
Definitely.
Yeah, the value is definitely on Jan. Either way you look at it.
It's I think he's got a good chance. But once again, initially looking at this, Zach and I talked about it earlier. I'm all over Reyes, but the more I start digging into this, listening to Bernard give his breakdown.
So I've actually been on Jan the whole time too, from the moment that I started breaking this fight down in my head. I thought the whole time. I haven't switched. I would imagine that most people have switched from Reyes to Jan that are taking Jan. I have thought the whole time that it's going to be Jan.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I go down with the shit.
Didn't the line open up at like minus 180 or something for favoriting Reyes, and now it's like minus 300? It's pretty crazy. It's
300. I saw it at 250.
It's wild.
It's getting wider, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Nathan, it's on you, buddy.
It's one of the first times I can remember a fight for a vacant title having little to no complaints in terms of the matchup itself. It's a long way from like an Aldo and Jan type matchup. These two guys are firmly the most deserving. I was after Jan knocked out Corey Anderson, I was so concerned more for Reyes than anything that perhaps he'd have to wait it out because I had Reyes up 3 for 2 in the fight with Jones, so I thought he was more than deserving of another shot. So I'm relieved in a way that John Jones is moving up to I think better things at heavyweight and allowing this division to move forward. Jan I think is unquestionably the more powerful of the two. But I've been very impressed with Reyes's his stand-up is so well measured, and I do think that could counter that power. So bearing in mind that I did pick Reyes, that I did score Reyes over Jones, I'm probably going to have to go for him. His natural talent, I think, will pull him through to a decision win. Although echoing what Berner said earlier, I think it's a possibility that he could knock him out late instead.
I thought you were going to change your mind then, Nathan. I thought that was the Burner effect coming up clutch.
Nah, not quite. Not quite. It's convincing, but not quite.
It's crazy to think, because at one point a year or two back, people in the light heavyweight division were looking at Blachowicz as sort of a gatekeeper to the top 5. And, we've seen this rejuvenated Blachowicz, and I've been very impressed with him recently. I mean, that Polish power is legit. I've got a couple of Polish mates of mine. Let me tell you, they've got some power. So the Polish power is legit. But again, you look at Blachowicz; he's just so well-rounded, and it's crazy. But Dominick Reyes, I mean, regardless of how you scored it, he went toe-to-toe with one of the, probably in my opinion, the consensus goat of MMA, John Jones. One of the best. To go 5 rounds with John Jones, regardless of where he's at in his career now, is impressive. He's more crisp in his striking, Reyes, but again, there's certainly many paths to victories for Blachowicz. You can get it done by knockout. You can get it done on the 3rd round. But I don't know. I've got back Reyes in this one. I think he was very impressive against John Jones, again, regardless of how he scored it. And I see him. It depends where his mindset is going into this one. If going into the fight all cocky and arrogant, you go, oh, I've beaten Jones, I'm the champion going into this one. It shouldn't be for the vacant title. Then maybe we'll see Blachowicz take advantage of that. But if he's well determined, Reyes, to win the belt and implement his game as he did against John Jones, maybe we'll see him taken into the championship rounds where, Dominick Reyes has the experience going 5 rounds with John Jones. does Blachowicz have the gas tank and the sort of level to last in the championship rounds? I don't think he does. So I'm going to go for a Dominick Reyes via 4th round TKO now.
Hey, that was 3-3, no?
It's interesting that almost all of us think that the fight is either ending in round 4 or 5 or on the judges. So it seems like
that is pretty interesting, actually.
Yeah.
Going to the championship rounds.
It's like Damage said, you know, I don't know actually if you said it for this fight, but you said the over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the over 2.5.
It's 2.5. Oh, easy.
It's over because it's a 5-round fight. So yeah, over 2.5.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to the 3rd round. Yeah, I can't see it not going into the 3rd round.
Yeah, is that how they do the overs, or I mean the halves? And
yeah,
is it just the next round?
It's
okay,
not. It's not a time thing. It's just that round.
Got you. Okay, thanks for the clarification.
Okay.
And it's at -135 for the over. I'll take
Free
it.
money.
Yeah, not bad. I like that. I like that look, guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm gonna apply. I've never bet on MMA, so I just did a fantasy until this weekend. So,
but we're 3-on-3 on this pick, right? We got 3 people for Jan and 3 people for Dominic. I think it's the first time we're actually like.
It's shocking to me as the man on the Jan train.